The Peacock and Parrot, on their tour to discover the author of The Peacock at Home *******, Pi, frontispiece. When lo, from the regions of air and sea 7p. 1p, The Peacock and Parrot, on their tour to discover the author of The Peacock at Home. Illustrated with engravings. London, printed for J. Harris, corner of St. Paul's. 1816, 2p, H. Breyer, printer, Bridge Street, Blackfriars, London. 3p, advertisement. The little poem now presented to the public was intended for publication immediately after the appearance of The Peacock at Home, but from various causes, was laid aside till now. In the opinion of the publisher, however, it is so nearly allied in point of merit to that celebrated trifle, that he is induced, although at this late period, to print it with a few appropriate embellishments. 5p, The Peacock, and see ye votaries of fashion, who have it to boast, that your names to posterity will not be lost, that the last morning chronicle due honour paid to the still blooming dowager's gay masquerade, that the minister's dinner has blazed in the Times, that the countess's gala has jingled in rhymes. Oh, tell me, who would not endeavour to please, and exert every nerve, for rewards such as these? 6p, It was early in spring, but no matter what year, that the Peacock, delighting in noise, and good cheer, determined for dear notoriety's sake, a dash in the whirlpool of fashion to make. A concert and ball, their attractions united, to which the beau monde were politely invited. Away they all flew, it was heavenly weather, and soon at the Peacock's arrived in full feather. The scene was enchanting. For taste so refined had never appeared with such splendour combined. The dance was all gaiety, frolic, and glee, the music transporting, the supper exquisite. The beaux were all prime, and the flower of the nation, the belles were all style, beauty, grace, fascination, good humour presided, where pleasure was law, and the guests, more or less, all came off with eclat. But, alas! Time has wings, and though still vastly clever, we cannot make balls last for ever and ever. 7p, When day was seen breaking, the company parted, and none, I am told, ever went lighter-hearted. I knew, cried Sir Argus, my gala would shine, oh, charming distinction, oh, pleasure divine. Yes, I too shall see myself figure away in the records of fashion, the buzz of the day, and the world shall admire, in ages to come, the brilliant display of the Peacock at Home. 2 months had now passed, and Sir Argus, one morning, was ruffling his plumes, and his person adorning, when lo! from the regions of air, quick descending, a pigeon appeared, and his neck gently bending, presented a billet, then silently bowed, and, spreading his wings, was soon lost in a cloud. Sir Argus, astonished, in haste now uncloses the paper, perfumed with fresh otto of roses. 8p, In fortune's dear name he exclaims, what is this, the Peacock at Home? Oh, superlative bliss! My feelings, prophetic, the honour foretold, yes. The peacock at home shall be printed in gold, how just the description! What grace, and what spirit! Ay, this is indeed a production of merit. Be it known, that the great biped lords of creation, of every class, and in every station, all secretly cherish, what all yet disclaim, that feeling, which we curiosity name. Now our peacock imperial, though too proud to own, that the favourite of Juno had ever been prone to a weakness, he always had wished to believe was exclusively felt by the daughters of Eve, yet died with impatience to know who had written the elegant verses, with which he was smitten. His thoughts were all now on discovery bent, and, in haste, for the parrot he instantly sent, 9p, who shortly arrived overjoyed beyond measure, and, strutting, demanded Sir Argus' pleasure. The peacock with vanity fully inflated 9p. The peacock, with vanity fully inflated, erected his plumes, and the triumph related, then quivering his wings, and expanding his breast, the listening parrot in these words addressed my friend, I acknowledge the poem divine, and that genius and wit breathe through every line, but it is not enough that to fame we devote it. You, the herald of Tun, must inform me who wrote it. The parrot, who now was expiring to speak, twirled his ebony tongue, and then opening his beak, in a tone of importance, without hesitation, directly began a high-sounding oration. Sir Argus, no mortal could have desired more exquisite verses than those you've inspired. 10p, the muse has for you, indeed, tried all her art, and with envy, no doubt, has filled many a heart. I wonder not, then, you are anxious to know from whose pen these strains of sweet harmony flow. 'Tis true, I have chanced in my wanderings to meet with some secrets, and such anecdotes could repeat. However, no matter, I give you my word, that who wrote this fine poem, I never yet heard, but it much would delight me the truth to discover, although I should fly for it all the world over. What say you, Sir Argus? The fact to ensure, suppose we were both to set out on a tour. Agreed, my good sir, far as England extends. Then together we'll travel, and visit our friends, endeavour to find out the name of our poet, and ere we return, 10 to 1 but we know it. 11p, a tempting repast they now hastily shard of grain and dried cherries, already prepared, then sipping some drops from a neighbouring spring, made no further delay, but directly took wing. A while they fled on, over meadow, through grove, delighted, for novelty's sake, thus to rove, yet sometimes alighted, preferring a walk, the peacock for ease, and the parrot for talk, till, at last, poor Sir Argus began to complain of the sad inconvenience he felt from his train, and proposed, as the sky seemed to threaten a shower, to rest till the morning, at Nightingale Bower. The obsequious parrot replied by a bow, and they went on as fast as their strength would allow. Philomela, to whom her retirement was dear, felt vexed at beholding the flutterers near. 12p, for living in harmony, softness, and quiet, she hated all bustle, intrusion, and riot, and though a few trips to the gay world she made, her heart, still unaltered, remained in the shade. However, our fair pensive warbler well knew, some sacrifice still to politeness was due. She, therefore, soon hastened the coxcombs to meet, and welcomed them both to her rural retreat. A delicate supper before them was placked, not with splendor, indeed, but simplicity gracked, at which she presided with elegant ease, and that native good breeding, that always must please. Sir Argus seemed charmed, and showed great condescension, was all affability, grace, and attention, till growing impatient, without much preamble, he eagerly mentioned the cause of his ramble. But no information, alas! He received, at which he was hurt, and the nightingale grieved. 13p. But hoped he would be more successful ere long, and proposed en attendant, to give him a song. Delighted, he begged Philomel would proceed, she complied, and 'twas something like singing, indeed. No cadence was ever performed with such neatness, Grassini herself never sang with such sweetness. The favor was next of the parrot requested, who, clearing his throat, was quite hoarse, he protested, yet gave pretty Pole one with such fine intonation, Sir Argus cried bravo, and screamed approbation. The travellers now with fatigue were oppressed, so they both bade adieu, and retired to rest. A sunshiny morn to their slumbers succeeded, when, waked to new life, on their way they proceeded. 14p. A poor captive starling, who lived near the road, they soon spied, and enquired for the poet's abode, but 'twas useless, indeed. Though they made a great rout, for he only kept crying, I cannot get out. This want of attention the peacock enraged, and he fiercely exclaimed, Ha, 'tis well thou art cagged. But, dear Mr. Parrot, methought that I saw the gilt ball on the dome of the Lady Macaw, with her we will breakfast at Aviary Hall, and who knows what success may our visit befall. Now it luckily happened on this very day, that the Countess was giving a grand dijon, and she actually started, so great her delight, when the elegant visitor came within sight. He, of course, was received with respect most profound, and her ladyship curtsied quite down to the ground. The parrot was likewise made welcome, Sir Tout, by that pink of all fashion, La Belle Cockatoo, 15p, while his little smart cousin, the gay perroquet, declared that the party was now quite complete. A poor captive starling who lived near the road, 14p. The most exquisite dainties the spring would afford, arranged with much taste, soon appeared on the board, and when breakfast was over, the peacock arose, his plans and his triumph at once to disclose. His magnificent train he now raised from the ground, spread its glories to view, and then flourishing round, delivered the poem, with great exultation, and caused in the circle no small agitation. Baron Stork too and the fair demoiselle were delighted, while some, less distinguished, conceived themselves slighted. The sparrow was most opportunely ingagged, or he would have been beyond all bounds enraged. 16p. However, the author not one could divine, though they pondered and pondered at every line, and all only serving to puzzle them more, Sir Argus continued as wise as before. Distracted, he knew not well whither to go. This last disappointment afflicted him so, but at length, on reflection, thought only one fowl could he have sense to inform him, and that was the owl. To her he resolved then, a visit to make, and her supper, the following night, to partake. In the meanwhile, the parrot with quickness rehearses, again, and again, the most charming of verses. Smart things fly about, repartees, and bon mots, with too many secrets that all the world knows. Old anecdotes came on the tapis, new dressed, and seasoned with satire, to give them a zest. 17p. But the Countess was shocked and declared with much feeling, she hated the faults of her neighbour revealing. Detraction, of late, had been full of employment, and truly, some folks knew no other enjoyment. 'Twas said, though for her part, she thought it quite cruel, that Monsieur Lecoq had been killed in a duel. The hedge sparrow publicly swore all was true, that so long had been told of the tyrant cuckoo, and the bullfinch did whistle indeed to some tune, when he said a great pleader had stolen a spoon. It is false, cried a little bird, known as a wag, and I would indict him, at once, for scan. Mag. All the company now raised their pinions and eyes, and protested their plumes stood on end with surprise. While young Mrs. Peewit, dear sweet gentle creature, evinced her abhorrence in every feature. 18p. Her soft bosom swelled and she thought it was grievous, that malice should lead the world thus to deceive us. For she too had heard a long, odious relation of cruel oppression, and vile peculation, and owned though it might be as false as the rest, it was whispered the goldfinch had feathered her nest. However, why one starred what detestable stories! The parrot aloud cried, oh, tempora, oh, mors! But was advancing, now brought on the day, and the peacock declared he must hasten away. His companion directly Sir Argus obeyed, and both to the Countess some compliments paid, then bade a farewell, spread their light wings again, and found themselves, shortly, once more, en chemin. They reached the owl's residence, ivy-clad tower 19p. They walked and they fluttered they hopped and they flew, and weary enough ere the evening grew. 19p. But a pure crystal stream some refreshment afforded, and each, in his crop, certain treasures had hoarded. Exerting their energies, both then proceeded, though many disasters their progress impeded. His train now again poor Sir Argus tormented, and the loss of some feathers could not be prevented. The parrot was ruffled, and torn, and distressed, but still, curiosity reigned in his breast. This was the spur that our travellers sped, and urged them both onward, though almost half dead. At length, to their joy, at no very late hour, they reached the owl's residence, ivy-clad tower. But what were their feelings, when after such rambling, they still must encounter fresh clawing and scrambling? The sage bird of night had long chosen her station aloft, where she sat in profound meditation. 20p. The clustering ivy her lone dwelling shaded, which no glaring sunbeam had ever pervaded. Within it, the stranger had never intruded, and there she had lived, from all idlers secluded. How great, then, were now her dismay and surprise! Thrice she called on Minerva, and thrice rubbed her eyes, but doubted not long, for the visitors now came full in her presence, and made a low bow. The dame, though annoyed, did not wish to be rude, so she wisely received them as well as she could. A frugal repast was prepared very soon, which together they shared by the light of the moon. Some berries and seeds, the owl thought would suffice, in addition to her stew of small birds and mice, and if no costly viands awaited them here, keen hunger made up for the want of good cheer. The supper dispatched, our illustrious guest, till his story was told, not a moment could he rest. 21p, while the owl her brain rummaged, now quite on th alert, for a few scraps of learning, by way of dessert. But the peacock had no inclination to wait, and the parrot was still more impatient to prate, so the poem was read, and the owl vowed she never had heard any verses she thought half so clever. But, who is the author? This still was the theme of Sir Argus' song, and his night and day dream. Oh, let me, he cries, of your kindness implore, dear, sweet Mrs. Owlet, yet one favour more. Acquaint us, I pray, with the name of our poet, its worth will be doubled to you when we owe it. Dear sir, said the dame, who loved flat ry as well, as if folly had made her a mere modern belle, much joy would it give me to grant your request, but, in truth, I am not of this secret possessed. 22p, I have thought a good deal, and feel really vexed, for the more I consider, the more I'm perplexed. However, thus much I will venture to tell, a female alone could have written so well. Sir Argus believed the dame might have guessed right, yet, Entenaus, thought her not very polite, but that was a trifle. He now had a clue to assist his research, and more satisfied grew, since the owl's well-known wisdom, and vast penetration, from time immemorial had claimed admiration. But evening closed in, and we well may suppose, that our travellers longed for a little repose, while the moon-loving dame, who had no wish to sleep, meant in pensive delight, her lone vigil to keep. So her guests took their leave, with a friendly adieu, and, forthwith, to a neighbouring lime tree withdrew. 23p, their eyes now soon close, the night passes away, and the lark calls them up, at the first peep of day, when, quickly descending, each shakes his bright plumes, and with fresh expectation his journey resumes. The peacock is now more accustomed to travel, and less inclined, therefore, at trifles to cavil, so, cheerfully lends his smooth wings to the breeze, and with rapture extols every prospect he sees. O'er many a bank, with sweet violets spread, green field, blooming garden, and hyacinth bed, through daisy-decked valleys, o'er soft swelling hills, across velvet-clad lawns, and beside limpid rills, our travellers roamed, till they found a young turtle, who lived with her mate, in an arbour of myrtle. But what could be learnt from two countrified doves, who were thinking, from morning to night, of their loves? 24p, no. They begged to observe nothing rude was intended, but concerts and balls, doves had never attended, in rural enjoyments they passed time away, and cared for no poems, nor poets, not they. Our birds of Horton set them down for a pair of the silliest creatures that fluttered in air. But breakfast appearing, a kind invitation to share it, still met with their full approbation, so both ate as much as they knew how to carry, and vowed they no longer a moment could tarry, then hurrying off, without further ado, said, "Good morning, my friends," and the turtles cried, "Coo!" to the banks of a lake, where resided the swan 25p. Our travellers now again anxiously thought of the elegant authoress, eagerly sought, and still of each female they met, as they flew, impatiently asked "Is it you, or you?" 25p, but vain was the question, so both hastened on, to the banks of a lake, where resided the swan, but she was in majesty sailing away on her silver domain, and gone out for the day. They, therefore, proceeded to Turkeycock Farm, and caused in the family there some alarm, but the peacock his cousin most kindly embraced, and the fright of the youngsters was shortly effacted, so the parrot, with spirit, the poem recited, and all were, or seemed to be, highly delighted. But as for the writer, alas! They as soon could have told them the name of the man in the moon, and the turkeycock's spouse her guests calmly entreated, to quit the pursuit, and be quietly seated. But all would not do, so, by way of excuse, they pleaded a visit to good Mother Goose, 26p, who near, on a common, en passant, they saw, and had heard she had lately come out of the straw. But the goose of their tale not a word understood, and still cackled away to her terrified brood, while immersed in a pond, to complete their ill luck, topsy-turvy appeared at a distance, the duck. What now could they do? Why, they both persevered, while the hope of succeeding their bosoms still cheered. On the woodcock they called, on the partridge and pheasant, and, killing time thus, thought exceedingly pleasant, till grown somewhat weary, in order to rest, a sandwich they took at the guineafowl's nest. But how shall we count all the visits they pay, to the raven, the magpie, the rook, and the jay? To the finches of fashion, the gold and the green, to the blackbird, the thrush, and the aberdeen. 27p, with a great many more, who were now all so busy, to fix their attention, was not very easy. The wren was employed in constructing a nest, and the linnet had joined in a song, the redbreast, the bittern was gone to the river, to fish, and procure, before dinner, his favourite dish, the swallow was building, the harrier hunting, the bantam was sitting, and so was the bunting. In vain, then, our travellers hopped to obtain but a word, or a hint, that might soften their pain. From county to county they thus made their way, and submitted to all things, except to delay. From Norfolk they came up to town in a hurry, and found themselves soon on the borders of Surrey. 28p, from thence off to Lincoln, and heaven knows where, till they got into Yorkshire, almost in despair, and well might they feel nearly hopeless, indeed, when their rambling at last brought them down to the Tweed. They looked at each other, in silent dismay, and the parrot for once, could not tell what to say. But, at length, recollecting, they turned short about, not a single jot wiser, than when they sat out. Yet their warm bosoms still for the dear secret panted, and this friend, and that, supplied all else they wanted. So, drooping and sorrowful, harassed and sore, they skimmed the blue mountain, and crossed the black moor, and the parrot, by this time quite clamorous grown, declared he should die of impatience alone. However, consulting, they thought it was best now to steer a new course, so went down to the west. 29p, on a high cliff, in Cornwall, they found out the chaff, but how should he learn what was passing below? Through Devon, so famed for its picturesque views, they passed with a haste one can scarcely excuse, from thence got to Somerset, almost benighted, and soon on the summit of Mendip alighted. There, most apropos, they immediately found a moss-covered root house for with evergreens bound, beneath whose kind shelter, fatigued and oppressed, they gladly agreed till the morning to rest. Sir Argus now cried, with a sigh and a tear, I wish that our travels, my friend, could end here, yet dread lest we many miles further should go, and never, at last, our sweet poetess know. 30p, but fortune, capricious, who sports at her leisure, with birds, as with men, when it suits her good pleasure, resolved after teasing Sir Argus a while, to reward, in the end, all his toils with her smile. Aurora with splendor unusual arose, when the Peacock and Parrot awoke from repose, and how were their bosoms delighted and cheered, when before them a perfect Elysium appeared. Reluctant they left it, again to explore, unconscious what happiness yet was in store, but the country they traversed was smiling and gay, while the sun, brightly shining, illumined their way, and we all know how cheerful, how sweet is the scene, when nature unfolds her new livery of green. The birds carolled round them, the butterfly played, and the soft vernal breeze kindly lent them its aid. Till, all their cares over, in Dorset they found her 31p. 31p, thus, gently reviving, hope soothed them again, and they shortly forgot both their sorrow and pain. A path strewed with flowers, they gaily pursued, and, in fancy, their long-sought incognita viewed, till, all their cares over, in Dorset 5 they found her and, plucking a wreath of green bay leaves, they crowned her. Now, what more remains of our Peacock to say, but that, homeward, triumphant, he winged back his way, proclaimed his success to the whole biped nation, and proudly accepted their congratulation. Won the song of Pretty, Pretty Poll in the Beggar's Opera. 2 Vide the Peacock at Home. 3 The Hen Harrier, a bird of prey, of the hawk tribe. 4 A moss-covered root house, in the plantation at Mendip Lodge, the charming seat of the Reverend Dr. Whalley. 5 Mrs. Dorset was the authoress of the Peacock at Home. H. Breyer, Printer, Bridge Street, Blackfriars, London. End of the Project Gutenberg ebook The Peacock and Parrot, on their tour to discover the author of The Peacock at Home ******* Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg. 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, You must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116, 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the U.S. unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.